Chris!
Heath.
What? Let's just whisper the whole episode.
Oh, is this for Bailey's benefit and her paper writing?
It's for Bailey's benefit, and then hopefully if no one can hear me, then no one can hear the lack of games I haven't played.
I was wondering if you were going there. Yeah, so you've had a dearth of game playing lately. You've made up with it with game-themed books, it seems.
I sure have. Here, have you heard the good word? Just leaf through the Animal Crossing complete guide
Bible
that arrived from Amazon
a
matter of days ago.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, this is a thick book.
God forbid you didn't know every reaction and every DIY recipe.
Oh, did they release this because they've stopped updating the game?
Correct. The game is now double gold.
I'm wondering if a kind of strategy guide was released for the version 1.0 version, and then this is the definitive guide that came out later.
I'm also wondering.
Yeah. Curious that just arrived recently. Did you?
This probably weighs more than the game disc. That's not. What was your question?
Yeah, I mean, what kind of discs would rival the weight of that book?
LA Noire, which came on 3 discs.
Maybe Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because they're talking up the fact that it ships on 2 discs.
Right.
Like that's a big selling point.
Right.
90s nostalgia, I guess.
Wait, have I already watched Rebirth?
There was a trailer at Jeff Keighley's Game Fest.
Okay.
It closed out the show. Of course, this is Mobius Tubes, the video game podcast, and we're coming to you post the I can't believe it's not E3 season.
Right.
So it's summertime. We got all the big news announcements lately. We'll cover that to some extent
Did
later.
Did you say
in the
Mobius
show.
Tubes? Sorry, I blanked out.
This is Mobius Tubes, episode 88.
All right, and our email address.
Oh, it's mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com, of course.
Sure is.
What I wanted to ask you is, what was the impetus for buying the Animal Crossing book?
Girls love coffee table books.
True.
And girls love Animal Crossing.
Yes.
And I killed 2 floating presents with 1 slingshot.
Why now exactly? Is this like a new release?
I pre-ordered it.
Oh, okay.
It just showed up on my door.
Because I also just received a shipment from Amazon of coffee table video game themed books.
Oh.
And I'm thinking of returning them.
Oh.
Partially because I don't own a coffee
Andrzej,
table.
not as good with the pen anymore.
Yeah, it was an impulse buy. Amazon was running a sale, steep discounts on video game themed books last week. So I got 4 of them. It was buy 2, get 1 free or something like that.
Yeah.
And now once they arrived, I took one look at them and the desire to own them just evaporated. So I might just return them. There's a Witcher one. There's a Total War Warhammer one. There's a Mass Effect one. But I don't have a good place to display them, it turns out. So back to Amazon they may go. Free returns, so no skin off my back.
No dust jacket off your hard copy. What?
Yeah. Is that a hardcover book joke?
I'm trying.
Okay. So Heath, I know we have a jam-packed episode.
Yeah, just throw your games at me.
That's enough opening banter. Should I expect any game updates from you?
No. Just that,
Okay.
Marvel Snap is progressing like any other total milk drinking normie would. I'm rank whatever. I'll say this, playing Marvel Snap, you really get to intimately know the movie, the cinematic universe release schedule.
Oh.
Like I have now, as much as you have every game that released between 2010 and to 2019 etched into your brain, I intimately know when Guardians 3 came out, Spider-Verse came out, and Ant-Man Quantumania came out. Because of
all the timed events.
It was all themed with the game.
Cross promotions galore.
They added one sizable update that includes best 2 out of 3. So typically, if you're just jumping right into a match, you could totally get ass blasted by a player that has a deck that counters yours.
Yeah.
If you have a destruction deck and somebody in your opponent has like Cosmo or armor, you're not going to make full advantage. And so the 2 out of 3 mechanic really accentuates it. Like I now know that your deck has a certain something.
Yes.
You don't know yet that I have a counter to it because I didn't play it. I didn't draw it in a timely fashion. So now it still maintains the snap mechanic. You can like double down, and everyone has like health points. You have like 8 health points.
Are those persistent across all 3 matches?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, sorry, I should say that the winner of the match, the loser of the match is deducted health points whether or not you snapped or not.
Okay.
So if I'm really confident that I'm going to win this match, I could snap, and then if you were to lose, you would lose 4 health points instead of 2. As soon as your health reaches 0, I win the like series.
Yeah.
And then I can go up in rank.
Okay.
This was not here at launch. This is new.
Yeah. And so presumably it takes about 3 times as long to finish, right?
Right. But it adds like a neat little twist.
Now, there's no editing your deck between the 3 matches, right?
No.
It's the same deck. You might just get a different draw order.
Right.
Okay. But you know what secrets you have in your back pocket and your opponent doesn't, depending on what you've played so far.
Right.
Okay. I kind of like that. I was thinking you were going somewhere with like, you get ass blasted round 1, but then there's like a few substitutions you can make between the rounds to counteract what happened, but doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
Because I know that's like a format in like real life nerdy card games like Magic the Gathering, maybe, where you have like a sideboard of substitutions you can make.
Oh.
But maybe that's too cumbersome for what is a pick up and play mobile game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And play it I have, as well as Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Okay.
So we finally got enough emeralds to unlock the mushroom killing. Oh, you hear? What are those footsteps? Why is
What's
the
that?
table shaking?
Pitter patter.
What is going on?
I was summoned. Hello. Goodness. Hi. We're talking about Disney Dreamlight Valley?
Apparently. So we finally unlocked enough emeralds, and now we are progressing past, not any deeper in the Glade of Trust, obviously, Chris, because those mushrooms are too big.
No, okay. So yeah, I'm salty about this because okay, I completed a quest for Elsa, and
we need one more crest to unlock the frozen treasures.
Yes. I completed a quest for her, and that made me so that I smashed the large ice things.
Which didn't really get in our way. I had no trouble bypassing the big icebergs.
Oh, he found a back door that's not supposed to exist.
We did sequence break it.
Yeah. So basically,
how do you pull that off?
Just
in these biomes is what they're called. There's like always like a section that's blocked off by big ice
progression blocking mushrooms.
Things.
Progression blocking
progression brushy mishers.
Progression I said it.
It is a tongue twister.
And so these big iceberg things.
But then he was able to like somehow squeeze in past the big icebergs before we were able to smash it to smithereens.
I learned Stitch's dark secret before the game wanted me to learn it.
You found experiment 666.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's evil.
Dude, Stitch is so annoying. We'll be talking. We'll have an intimate moment with Anna.
Because Anna's like, well, basically, all right, there's a little bit of backstory, but Kristoff had to give up his memories of Anna in order to save the valley. So, like, he forgets that he loves Anna, and Anna's really upset about it. So, all right, now keep going.
So Anna's like, I don't know if Kristoff will ever love me the same way again. what should I do, Bailey? And before Bailey can say, like, you need to trust your heart or some dialogue choice like that, Stitch starts playing his because Stitch can't speak English as good as, Wally doesn't just go around going beep boop all the time, but seemingly Stitch just plays the same ukulele riff, Hawaii Waka Waka, and it totally takes the tension out of any dramatic moment that Dreamlight Valley is just relying on. God forbid we finally find the fourth crest in Elsa's into the unknown super quest, and at the tipping point, Stitch appears.
And just sucks to the tension right out.
Yeah. But then there's also, you know who kind of also does that is Remy from time to time, because he'll be like, I give this village 5 stars.
That is how the line is delivered.
That's how it's delivered. Yeah. I swear to God.
How many times would you estimate you've heard that line?
Remy's line, not that much.
There's Dreamlight Valley is too big a place, and there's too few characters. There's such a variety of characters that I can't, unless you're really talking about like Mirabelle, who will be like, hermoso dia, so sunny. That's the one I've heard the most.
No. I think the one we've heard the most is Merlin, because he'll be like, I tip my hat to you, though I prefer not to take it off.
So clearly you've got these lines memorized.
Clearly we're hardcore gamers, just not the kind... The audience can start listening again. That's the end of our Dreamlight.
Excuse me, Dreamlight's a real game.
It's a hardcore game, Bailey.
It's a real game. The only biome that we've yet to unlock is the Forgotten Lands.
Oh, that has to be the final battle.
Well...
It can't be like a full-fledged biome. It's got to be like the boss.
No, that is a biome. That's a biome. And then from there...
Oh, that was the portal that we looked into with Donald.
No, that was something else.
Okay, all right.
That was something else. It's connected to...
Chris is checking his phone.
I thought it buzzed. It was you.
What's it connected to? What's the latest...
Sunlit
Plateau. That's what it is. It's connected to Sunlit Plateau.
We're looking for vanilla. We're trying to...
Is vanilla a resource?
Yeah, same as sapphire, same as fish.
You moved on from emeralds to vanilla.
I thought you were...
That's the progression curve.
You were about to say that this was like a vanilla game or something.
No, we need fizzy root beer.
For the fizzy root beer to do Scar's quest, we need vanilla.
We have sugarcane.
Yeah.
We have a vial of I don't know.
Yep.
I'm mix matching my quests.
Yeah, you are.
All right.
But that's how our progress is going. It's a really fun game. It's a real game. I swear to God, it's a real game.
We're so close to level 10 Elsa.
Yo, and that's when we get her dress. That's
when we... 10.
Well, okay, but then we got to level 10 Anna, and it's supposed to, like, when you reach a certain level, you're supposed to get a reward, so we're supposed to get, like, Anna's dress. But then I couldn't find it in my inventory. So
well, it's because you unlock it at Scrooge's store. Surely.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to play.
You just go play right now.
No, I can't. I have writing to do.
All right, we'll finish your writing.
Don't go to school, kids.
She didn't let the record show. She doesn't mean that. All right, let's talk about some real video games.
Don't let Bailey catch that. Yeah, I've got a big steamy update of a trio of games I've been playing. Let's just set them up and knock them down. We've discussed none of these ever before.
Oh.
Brand new content. So I dipped into Dead Cells, that old beloved roguelike. Lots of people enjoy it. Side-scrolling 2D action game that's, follows the hot new trend in games, roguelikes. So you often die, repeat. It's a randomized layout. Random gear drops. You're trying to reach the end.
Spelunky-ish.
Oh, yeah. It's in the realm of Hades. It's in the realm of Rogue Legacy Spelunky. I'm a fan of these games. That's well known. I've played a bunch. And this is one that was not love at first sight. I did bounce off of it initially. Tried it a little bit last year and didn't get very far. There's been plenty of case studies where I try a game. For whatever reason, it just doesn't hit quite right. I wasn't feeling it at that time. But at a later date, I don't know, my brain chemistry has rearranged itself a little bit and suddenly it all clicks. That was the case for Dead Cells. This time around, I've put in like 30 hours. I'm a fan.
Nice.
I'm a fan. So, you play as this, I don't know, like a pile
You play as like the hyper light drifter.
It's funny you mentioned that because this game has crossovers galore. Like if you're an indie game released in the past 5 years, you probably have a reference in Dead Cells.
Oh, do I even need to say it?
Which one?
Shovel Knight.
It's in there.
All right.
Yeah. It's fun. They come up with like little customized weapons. The nail from Hollow Knight is in Dead Cells.
I love it.
The bat from Hotline Miami is in Dead Cells.
I almost enjoy it.
There's Hyperlight Drifter. There's Guacamelee. There's so many. There's even like Half-Life, I think.
Wow.
So not just indie stuff. I don't know how. It's like a pretty ambitious crossover, the likes of which we only see in Smash Bros. But
Everyone is here.
yeah, Everyone is here, but more niche. So I kind of dig it.
Everyone is here,
So-
even those guys.
Yeah, exactly. So what do I like about Dead Cells as far as...
The reward choices.
Yeah. It's there's a lot of very small design wrinkles I want to highlight that I think are pretty clever. None of them on their own are going to get you to download Dead Cells, but I think in culmination, it creates a pretty compelling loop from run to run. One thing is charting your path to the end. You go from cordoned off section level to a section level. So it's not continuous. There will be like I am leaving the ramparts.
Oh, it's like Carrion.
Okay. Yeah, there are points of no return. You'll finish a level and go to the next level. But it's not always the same linear progression. You'll leave the prisoner's quarters, which is the opening, and then you'll either go into like the sewers, or it's a branching snaking path. You can pick the sewers, or you pick the ramparts. You'll have a series of these three choices, multiple choice, and then the next set of choices and the next set of choices. And there is a cool chart that you can pull up on the map system to plot your flow through the level to the end. And you'll know...
Plot my flow like Death Stranding?
You'll know which sectioned off levels you're gunning for, maybe. Because each level, while being randomly generated and not handcrafted, they'll have certain consistent gimmicks to them.
Some might even say procedural.
Yeah. If you go to the clock tower, you know you're basically playing a pretty vertical level. With a lot of up and down scrolling.
Yeah.
And a couple gates you need to get by. There's always a few givens to a level that give them their own identity that can be countered on. And you can know which ones are your favorite. I really like the ancient sewers, but I struggle with...
But that's just Chris.
But that's just me. If you know there are certain enemy archetypes that give you a hard time and they only appear in this level and this level, you can try to avoid it strategically. So I like the meta layer of plan your route and act accordingly. That's cool. Cooler bits of design, to me anyway, are one bit of the game's progression. So this game is a roguelike. A lot of your progress is reset from run to run, except for the few persistent elements. That's where the game's titular cells come in. It's like a Dark Souls currency. It's like souls. You acquire cells, you invest them in upgrades, and those upgrades are permanent. For the rest of the game, you get permanently stronger. They are used on things like unlocking new weapons, increasing the number of powers that might drop that you can acquire, other persistent stuff like more health potions, just so you can refill your health more often. Estus flasks, sure. I really like one of the more potent upgrades you can get is one that universally upgrades the quality of gear drops. So when an item drops from an enemy and you want to pick it up and use it as a new weapon, there's like 5 quality tiers of gear, from boring vanilla all the way to S tier. And then like the intermediate ones. There's an upgrade vendor.
What are you buying?
Who, if you throw cells at him, you can gradually make it so, at this point, I've invested enough that basic gear, I never see any basic gear anymore. I have a 100% drop rate of at least one tier above basic, which is like plus level.
Yeah.
So that's good. I've just universally made every item that drops in the game better. So that's a huge, important upgrade to get. The piece of design I like around this vendor is he's only available at 2 very specific points in your run. Both of them are following a boss encounter. So you beat the boss, you get this special vendor. It adds a little bit of a risk-reward metagame decision you need to grapple with, because to me anyway, I found investing cells into that specific vendor one of the most valuable uses for my cells. However, he's not always available. If I want to be very efficient, I could stockpile a bunch of my cells, hopefully beat the boss, and then get a big payday when I invest them all into his sack or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's a risk, right? If I'm saving up a big cumulative pile of cells I want to give to him, but I die before I reach him, that's a big sunk cost loss of cells that I never got to invest.
What do you mean loss of cells? You said this was Dark Souls. You can just pick them back up. You just retrieve them.
No. If you die, any unspent cells are permanently lost.
Oh.
Yeah, the only persistent upgrades are cells you spend.
Oh, it's like the Messenger.
I haven't played the Messenger, but sure. Is there persistent upgrades in the Messenger?
No, if I die, I lose a certain amount, and they'll taunt you with how much you lose.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to play it safe, as soon as you finish a level, you spend all your cells right away. Then you never, ever lose progress that way. But if you want to be like me, you can take the risky method, save up cells, basically stockpile them in preparation for giving them all to this guy, who's only at the halfway mark and at the end. Other cool design wrinkles are the bonus reward doors. If you finish a stage, you're greeted with 1 or 2 doors that maybe are sealed, or maybe you've done the criteria to open them up.
How very binding of Isaac.
Yes, there are timed doors. So if you want those to be open and available with lots of goodies for you, you need to go fast and just clear levels very quickly. Maybe even, it's a push or pull. If you be more thorough, you're not going to get the timed reward doors, but you'll find all the goodies hidden in the level instead.
It's like Pizza Tower.
Okay. That's been hot this year.
Yeah.
The WarioWare game.
Yeah.
Oh, not
Wario
Land.
Land.
Wario Land. Thank you. Yeah, there's time doors. There are doors that reward you for dispatching a certain number of enemies without even getting grazed or taking any damage. If you kill 60 enemies in a row without damage, you open this bonus reward door. That seems pretty tough. I've managed it a couple times, which brings me to this game's flow. It wasn't what I expected. This is maybe what made me bounce off initially. I didn't get that the combat pacing in Dead Cells is very all or nothing. You will go for many minutes at a time, breezing through. Enemies are dispatched very quickly in Dead Cells, but similarly, you can go down with just 1 or 2 mistakes in quick succession and you're dead.
Yeah.
So it's very rapid. Enemies fall fast, but so can you, which leads to a pacing where if you get in the zone, a really nice flow state, you'll play through an entire level of Dead Cells and not get hit at all if you're in the zone. Because
you're a true capital G gamer.
A real gamer, yeah. Because enemies can, if you're riding that progression curve well, enemies can go down and just instantly, just quickly.
Like Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, almost to that degree. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous because you kill 50,000 foes in one run.
Yeah, I do.
But
I snort cocaine while I do it.
That's the true way to play. But mistakes in Dead Cells are costly. Getting hit, that'll be a third of your health bar. It's dicey. Which
Dungeons.
I'm currently enjoying Dead Cells as basically a turn off my brain podcast type of game where I just mute it. I listen to content on my phone and just kind of get in that zone. And I'm going to say it's a pretty good podcast game. The harsh edges you come up across is if you get flustered, the run could be over really quick because mistakes are so costly. So usually a podcast game I want to be maybe a little bit lower impact than Dead Cells is, but it's a game you get habituated to pretty quick, and then you can be on autopilot for a fair portion of it. It's just you need to quickly snap your focus back into attention if you do find yourself in like a dangerous situation. Yeah, so really high stakes, high reward kind of combat to it. And my one nitpick is a progression nitpick, actually. The game gives you so many things to spend cells on. Cosmetic stuff, new weapons, new abilities, lots of stuff. Like the tail for this game is long. The developer Motion Twin has been supporting this game a ton ever since it came out in like 2018. And they're still supporting it. Like they said, there's new updates planned until at least 2025.
Whoa.
It just got the big Castlevania update this year, which is apparently fantastic. I haven't bought it yet.
I can play as Simon and Richter in
And Alucard.
my Dead Cells? Wow.
Yes, you can. Another crossover.
Yeah.
But the one progression nitpick I do have, despite there being a wealth of things to unlock, is one of the main things you unlock, which I've mentioned, is new weapons and stuff, which any new weapons you pay to unlock now have a chance of spawning in all your future playthroughs, which is cool. More weapon variety. I think weapons in Dead Cells do feel pretty different, which leads to the game's near limitless replay value because you're never doing the same tired gameplay run to run.
Yeah.
My nitpick is if you're like trying to be super duper efficient, I think you would just hone in on like, I really enjoy playing with these 5 weapons or so. And the more you unlock, the more you dilute the weapon pool,
Oh, yeah.
which
If you can help it.
it's kind of like too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm harming my enjoyment of the game and stymieing the variety of weapons because I'm trying to max min. Oh, I only really like these weapons. That get me really far in the game. I don't want to.
A speedrunner would never go off the beaten path.
Yeah. Now that I've kind of whittled down the upgrade tree of progression to just the new weapons, now I'm kind of losing my desire to continue playing because now if I continue to make progress, I'm just diluting the weapon pool, and I'm having trouble wrestling with that idea.
That's why Breath of the Wild had to use the poor weapon durability to force you to use
Yes.
a variety of weapons.
Yes, it forces your hand to
Yeah.
use variety. Where this game kind of...
Dead Cells needs to take a page out of Shigeru's book.
I mean, like, there's no...
Shigeru Miyamoto did not make Breath of the Wild.
Right, he probably just consulted on it. Yeah, I don't know how to quite square this circle around the weapon pool dilution conundrum, but that's my sole nitpick around Dead Cells. Otherwise, I think it's pretty great. I think it's my second favorite action roguelike, only behind Hades.
Oh,
There are other roguelikes I like better, but they are more cerebral turn-based affairs like Into the Breach. Mm-hmm. I think this game has kind of completely replaced Rogue Legacy in my mind, at least. Because Rogue Legacy is the other side-scrolling explore a maze, randomly generated level layout.
sure is.
But the combat is far less compelling compared to Dead Cells. Way less variety. I think Rogue Legacy is maybe lower impact, so maybe more accessible to get into. But yeah, Dead Cells, 2 thumbs up, man. I like it.
You said that Dead Cells is getting development into 2025.
Yes.
When does Hades 2 come out?
Ooh, I think it enters early access later this year.
Yeah. Okay. So get owned as soon as Hades 2 is available. Yeah, Dead Cells will fall to 3rd on the favorite action game list.
Yes, probably. That's just because I'm such a super fan. Cool. That was Dead Cells, made by Motion Twin, a strange developer, very flat organization where I think everyone is paid exactly the same on the team. Like, no matter what your role is. If you're an artist or a programmer.
How very Zaum.
Yeah, Zaum, but
Before they got
the better outcome, I guess.
destroyed by capitalism.
Right. So, fun fact about Motion Twin. Boom. All right, let's keep this party going. Moving on to Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, I played this game.
No way.
Haven't I?
did?
Haven't I? 4X stealth.
There's a little bit of
Am
stealth.
I thinking of like Shadowrun something?
You're not thinking of Mark of the Ninja, are you?
Maybe I am.
Okay. This came out last year.
Then it's probably I have not.
Okay. It's from Tango Gameworks, makers of The Evil Within.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is my first Tango.
I get this. I get those games confused with like Neo 2 and things like that.
Oh yeah. Also Japanese developed. Yeah.
Well, so is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, but
And yet that doesn't occupy the same space in your mind.
seemingly not.
Ghostwire Tokyo came out last year. We talked about it a little bit in like a preview, pre-release or something. It's a big open world first-person shooter, putting quotes around that, because you use hand gestures to shoot magic out of your fingertips. You're
Very
like
Skyrim.
it's got a very Shadow of Mordor premise where you're Akito, a Japanese youth in Tokyo, and you get possessed by your ghost buddy, KK. And then there's a bunch of supernatural shenanigans going on, spooky theme, spooky aesthetics with lots of like Japanese.
Is this modern day?
Yes, contemporary Tokyo, but
Are we in
the population.
Ichiban's? What's
Kamurocho?
Yeah, are we in Kamurocho?
Might as well be. Super similar setting to a Yakuza game, except there are no Yakuza patrolling the streets because the population of Tokyo has disappeared due to some evil fog.
Thanks to the Ghostwire.
Yes, everyone's gone, and now a bunch of spirits and yokai are patrolling the streets. There's a bad dude with a mask.
This is first person?
Yes. Bad dude with a mask. He's kidnapped your hospitalized sister.
Oh no.
Because she's got weird spiritual special stuff.
She's the key to all this.
Key to all of it. We don't know how or why, but to be determined. And you need to get your sister back with the help of your spirit buddy KK, who you quickly become pretty buddy-buddy with him, but your main protagonist, Akito, very quick to forgive, because as soon as KK possesses you, he tries to choke you out and like kill you. Oh. But that's water under the bridge about 5 minutes later.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I don't think the story is a big draw here. The setting absolutely is, and so is the enemy designs, because it's a bunch of like Japanese urban myths.
Oh, I've seen that one horror game.
Oh yeah? Which one?
What's it called? It's very storybookish.
Oh, Detention?
No,
it's not Detention, is it?
I think it's called like. It's got horror in the title, I think.
Oh. Okay.
I'll pipe it in right now.
All right. You've got a bunch of like Slenderman looking businessmen in suits with vacant faces.
Salary guys.
Yeah, the salary men. They all have, if you go into the glossary of the game, they all have descriptions of like, oh, what kind of tormented soul is this? It's like the overworked businessman. It's there's like the customer service lady who's has to suffer like too much abuse from belligerent customers. Her attack is like blowing kisses, but they hurt you. And you have to like bullet hell dodge the projectiles she shoots.
This is very like Undertale.
A little bit.
The enemy types of like cute thematic attacks.
Yes.
How Washua can like clean you.
Now, the novel setting does some heavy lifting for what is otherwise a rather unremarkable, big open world checklist style game. It strictly follows the Ubisoft open world formula.
Assassin's Creed Towers.
Yes. If you have played a Far Cry game, if you have played an Assassin's Creed, you know what you're getting into when you sign up to play Ghostwire Tokyo.
You got to synchronize these spirits.
Yes. Yeah, there's literally, big sections of the map covered in fog that you uncover when you cleanse the shrine. Except in this game, the fog is not just something obscuring your map. It's literally in the environment.
Invisible walls.
You can walk into the fog, but it damages you. So for all intents and purposes, it's an invisible wall.
It's a Fortnite cloud storm.
Yes. So I just thought it was funny that in addition to actually fogging up your map, the fog is actually there. You can see it in the 3D world. And then it vanishes when you clear the gate. So this is a game. It's not really boasting any high highs or low lows. It's just, it has that drip feed of a constant moderate level of satisfaction as you super incrementally make your character better and just go down the tried and tested. You unlock skill trees. Your health just creeps up a little bit every time you level up. You're increasing your ammo supply of the different 3 types of spirit energy you can shoot out.
Allow me to
take
just
a guess.
rattle them off.
What elements did they include?
They include like ectoplasm, and then there's also spooky energy.
No, these are like, think Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Fire, paper.
It's the standard Avatar 4 elements, but -1. Earth takes an L here.
Right.
So there's just the wind, fire, water. You can swap between them. They're basically your 3 types of guns, because this is a first-person shooter.
Nice.
With your hands. You've got the pretty versatile, quick-shooting wind. You've got long range, but low ammo fire. And then you've got up close and personal water, which has like, it covers a wide arc. Maybe like the analogous thing would be a shotgun, perhaps.
Water, shotgun, fire, sniper,
and then
air is just
medium
all-around.
range, all-rounder machine gun.
Got
yeah.
it.
What helps the game not feel like a super standard first-person shooter is some impressive animation work. You get to do like lots of cool hand gestures.
Jitsus.
Now you're pretty much just pointing and clicking.
You're tutting.
But the game sells the fantasy of doing like, I don't know, you feel like a Shaolin monk or something.
Yeah.
And it does an especially good job of selling the fantasy when you have to lift a curse where it will say, okay, to remove this affliction, we need you to actually like trace a pattern. As if you're doing like half circle Hadoukens.
Oh.
Or it'll
You're
trace.
doing kanji.
Yeah. It'll be like quick memorize this pattern that we trace on it'll do like
Simon Says.
yeah, it's Simon Says. It'll do stars and half circles.
Spooky
and
Simon
you
Says.
trace it with your mouse. And it's literally Simon Says, but the way your hands map one-to-one to your mouse movements, it sells the illusion a little bit. It's a unique flair that I don't see like other games really do, because it's kind of just a goofy gimmick. But in the context of the greater game here, I think it works. So impressive animations with all the hand shenanigans going on. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're playing rock, paper, scissors all the time. The pacing of the combat is also slower than I'm used to. You're kind of slow, and
Queen Meave pre-upgrade.
sure, that old Thronebreaker reference. They won't saturate the field with enemies. There'll be like 3 or 4, but they do a good job of enemies will strafe around you, get out of your field of vision, and you'll kind of lose sight of them. And the slower pace of the game makes it so, even though you don't have any like cool, you have a very limited dodge, but you're not like doing wall jumps or anything. Despite the slower traversal of the game, positional awareness is often a factor in the fight. Just trying to remember who's behind you.
Yeah.
And remembering to like circle around.
It's like Doom.
You don't want your attacks to get interrupted when you get hit. Cool. That brings me to what is actually, I think, maybe the most interesting thing about this game.
It's time for a new segment. Chris's most interesting things.
This only applies to me. Okay. Now that I have a TV for the first time, I have a choice to make.
What?
I've played PC games for years and
on a
years
monitor.
on my monitor.
Oh.
6 months ago, I got this TV, and now I have to make a choice whether every game I play for the podcast, whether it's a monitor game or a TV game, and usually the choice is clear. If it's a big game with like even the tooltips grand strategy game like a Total War, obviously I'm playing that on my monitor with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
If it's Doom Eternal, where the pace of their shooting is so rapid I can barely keep up, of course I'm going to play that kind of a twitchy action game with my mouse and keyboard. I need the precision. If it's like a third-person open-world game, like an Assassin's Creed, and I want to use a controller, I'm going to kick back on my TV, use my recliner, have the nice speakers going, have the big screen experience.
Have the colors behind you correspond
HDR?
to
You're talking about my RGB lighting in the room.
Yeah.
Yes. So
When I do a water attack, it turns blue.
Oh, for that synergy. Usually there's a stark dividing line between TV game and monitor game for me, based on the control scheme I want to use. I had to wrestle with Ghostwire Tokyo because it is a first-person shooter. So my initial instinct was maybe mouse and keyboard, but the slower pace of the combat, maybe it was slow enough that I could enjoy it on the TV and get the sweet HDR going because I upgraded to Windows 11, as detailed last episode. So it was towing the line. It was almost slow enough to be a TV game, but not quite. So here's the thing. Instead of
How much of a sicko am I for playing Frostpunk on the TV?
With a controller?
No.
Oh, you play mouse and keyboard games on a TV?
But if I have itching to play it, I will just put the keyboard and mouse on the carpet.
Ugh.
Just look up at it.
I thought you might like put something on your lap, like a flat surface, but
no,
you're using your
crane my neck
carpet floor.
If it's like midnight and I really want to play,
the ergonomics alone make me want to hurl.
Yeah.
Not even to mind like the imprecision of mouse on a rug carpet.
Well, you just pause the game. That's what the grand strategy's for. You can just hit the spacebar to pause.
Yeah, we have very different standards when it comes to the gaming environment.
I don't think twice.
So yeah, usually I don't have to think twice about which one I go on. With Ghostwire Tokyo, I screwed myself, Heath.
Oh.
I screwed myself because I experienced it in both forms as I hemmed and hawed of where to play it in my apartment.
Yeah.
And then when I finally landed on, okay, I do need mouse and keyboard, my eyes had seen the HDR running on the TV, the high dynamic range. And I'm like, all of a sudden, my pretty nice 1440p monitor, I'm like, this is doo-doo now. I've seen the light. The scales have come off my eyes, and
specifically
I can see
the light coming from the pixels.
And then, so basically, what I'm saying is, Ghostwire forced my hand. I made an expensive purchase.
No, you did not buy an HDR monitor.
I bought an HDR monitor because of Ghostwire Tokyo. This didn't affect me before because my HDR was bad, but I've recently fixed it.
Oh, you did fix it.
And now I like HDR. Now I FOMO'd myself into needing an HDR monitor. I just dropped a big chunk of change. And now I was also like, okay, I'm going to get a new monitor. But if I'm going through the legwork of
if I'm getting an HDR monitor,
if I'm getting an HDR monitor,
I ought to get a sick gaming chair that I can just have all my bodily fluids collect so I don't even have to get up away from the HDR monitor.
No. But I'm going through all this. If I'm making a new monitor purchase, do I want the sole upgrade to be HDR? No, we need to make it better than that. So as of a few days ago, I've had my first experience with a ultra wide monitor. It's a 21:9 aspect ratio.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like I'm in the cockpit of NASA's Space Command or something. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's curved. I was kind of hesitant about it. Like, is it going to be a pain in the ass every time I full screen like a normal YouTube video? There's going to be black bars on the side now because my monitor's too wide. I wanted to go to like a Best Buy and see it in the flesh before I committed to it.
Yeah.
But it's too niche a product. They're not on the display floor. So I just had to roll the dice and have it delivered. And it turns out I do like it.
You'd probably just like scale to fit certain videos
and have it stretch.
If it's talking heads, no, scale to fit. So like you'd miss out on like the top and bottom.
Oh, okay.
But if it's like a talking head, it's
I haven't
fine.
figured out how to enable that yet. So this is super new. I guess wait for next episode. I'll have more ultra wide impressions. But so far, it's pretty nice. I like it. And now my monitor will be nicer than my TV, and I'll need a better TV.
Yeah, I'm trying to make fun of you on the slippery slope.
The arms race.
Yeah,
it's escalating. One hot tip for anyone who's like, oh, I would enjoy a comfort food checklist open world game like Ghostwire Tokyo, and this quirky Japanese contemporary urban city appeals to you,
Just get your Yakuza game.
yeah, you could try Yakuza. If you do pick up Ghostwire Tokyo, I have one hot tip for you. The map is actually pretty vertical with all the skyscrapers and stuff.
Like, what was the first game that you mentioned? Like Dead Cells, Clock Tower.
Like the clock tower, just like that. Great
Right.
connection.
Thank you.
There are collectibles like on the rooftops for you to get. Now,
Sekiro's rooftops. Am I right?
now to get up there, there are these. All right, there's these spirit guys named Tengu, and they just fly around,
Yeah.
and they're at fixed points, and you can use your Ghostwire thread to just grapple up onto the rooftop if there's a Tengu around. It's not a very dynamic grapple hook.
Halo Infinite.
It is not. It is far closer to the Metroid Prime grapple hook,
Far closer to the Toy Story Buzz Lightyear grapple hook.
where it is just point to point. But the Tengu who are around that let you do this, they're pretty sparsely populated around the map at these very fixed points. My hot tip for you is if you look on one section of your skill tree, pretty late game, there is an ability that lets you spawn Tengu at will. You can now make your own grapple points anywhere you want, which is a huge game changer. I recommend rushing that skill tree.
Okay.
Even though you're going to have to defer being kind of weak at combat for a while since you're putting all your points into this mobility upgrade.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I mainlined it just to rush it. And it really opens the game up. Suddenly having every building rooftop be accessible to you.
It becomes Titanfall.
It becomes, way more fun. You can get way more collectibles. You save so much time. It's a more dynamic, movement, traversal in this game. I mentioned the slow pace of it. Movement in this game is rather dull. And everyone knows if you're going to make an open world game, you want to be like Spider-Man. You want the locomotion to be thrilling.
Right.
And you can make the locomotion far more thrilling in this game. You just need to pay for it. So I recommend you do it.
Damn, I wish you could just buy the upgrade with real money like you can in Resident Evil 4 Remake. No, 2.
It also applies to 4. You're right.
Okay.
Every modern
What's the
Resident
name of that
Evil.
DLC that's like the win button?
Yeah, it's just like all unlocks.
Yeah. Ghostwire Tokyo.
Ghostwire Tokyo,
Like Astral Chain, but spooky.
but spooky. In summary, I have an anecdote that will summarize Ghostwire Tokyo here. Here's the thing, Heath. This game has side quests. Another game set in contemporary Japan, known for its side quests, is Yakuza. If I had $1 for every time a Japanese developed game set in modern day Tokyo presented me with a side quest about repeatedly bringing toilet paper to
a
someone
CEO.
to someone stuck in the stall of a public bathroom, I'd have $2, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that that's happened twice. So yeah, this has the same side quest from Yakuza, where there's a spirit who can't pass on because they're trapped in a stall,
Oh, that's super funny.
shitting themselves, and they need more and more heavy dosages of toilet paper.
Oh my God.
But the comparison I want to make is
I can't pass on. I need more toilet
I
paper.
can't pass on until I pass this on.
All right.
Yakuza, that series has a lot of heart and soul to it.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing this toilet paper fetch quest, there's still the inherent comedy present in that, oh man, you're playing as Kazuma Kiryu, this hardened, hyper-masculine criminal, and he's embarking on the most mundane quest for someone in a bathroom stall, and he's approaching it with the utmost sincerity and earnestness as he tries to help out this man pooping himself.
Right.
The comedic aspect is there in spades with Yakuza. Also, every side quest in Yakuza has the fun twist you don't see coming, where when the man finally emerges from the stall, he's a high-powered company CEO, and he rewards you handsomely. And you thought you were just helping a bum wipe his butt with toilet paper. Where Ghostwire Tokyo, despite being full of spirits, is kind of soulless.
Ooh, wow. You are making that paycheck today, Chris.
You deliver your final roll of that sweet, sweet toilet paper, and the side quest ends. The spirit says, "Oh, thanks."
You get a big Ubisoft, like, takes up a whole third of the screen, mission complete. And then it's like plus 1,000 cells.
Yeah, the spirit says, "Thanks, Akito. I will pass on now." There is no twist. It played out exactly as you would have predicted. That is every side quest in this game. There's a spirit who can't pass on until you do X task for them. You perform task.
Thanks, Akito.
Thanks, Akito. Rinse and repeat. Where Yakuza, every quest has some wrinkle to it that makes it
feels handcrafted.
It's memorable. There's writing chops behind Yakuza, where Ghostwire Tokyo, you just want to see the number go up, your XP bar fill up, and then you're on to the next task. And that's my main criticism. That's my complaint about Ghostwire Tokyo. It's still hitting the spot for me because I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game in a couple years now, so I was ready for some kind of, just dopamine treadmill of a game.
Yeah.
And Ghostwire is providing it.
You've had it too good.
Yeah.
With Yakuza.
Spoiled on Yakuza. I'm about 13 hours into Ghostwire. I'm going to keep playing it.
Okay.
It's still hitting for me. And that brings me to the end of this marathon, Heath. A game I know you've been relishing the chance that this update comes up.
What do you mean?
Because I've been playing Bayonetta 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's back. I have not finished it yet. I'm on like chapter 8, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. So I'm the Platinum Games fan around here. I play maybe like one other games per year. Last year was Metal Gear Rising. This year,
a great game.
Great game. This year,
way better than Bayonetta 3.
This year, Bayonetta 3, another game just like Dead Cells. It was not love at first sight, but I am coming around on it.
Okay.
As far as bad first impression goes, ooh boy, this game, it's ugly.
Yeah.
It does not look visually very good. So I like to think, I'm a bit of a performance snob, hence like I bought an ultra wide monitor and stuff. I've got this ridiculously tricked out PC that's kind of overkill. I realize the Switch is this 6-year-old piece of hardware that costs $300, where my PC is literally an order of magnitude more money was put into it.
Right.
So I know I'm not comparing apples to apples when I compare my PC games to the Switch. I like to think I can tune my expectations appropriately when I'm playing a Switch game and what it's going to look like. I think when I played Metroid Dread earlier this year, that looked really good on the Switch. Sharp, ran at a high frame rate. Metroid Prime, for as much as I dogged on that game, looked really competent remaster.
You're deliberately not playing Tears of the Kingdom, though.
True. But that's just because that game, I think, is going to be so special. If there is a better version of it, I'm willing to wait for a higher performance game.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 3, even for a Switch game, I think looks rough. The environments you run around in would look right at home on the Xbox 360 from 15 years ago. Oh man, they're so muddy. They're so undetailed.
Yeah.
Character models look fine, but the environments are killing me, dude.
Smearing backgrounds.
Yeah, like Vaseline-y screens, low resolution. I think visuals are extra compromised because it is such a kinetic action game. They do have a pretty decent frame rate, but the visuals are suffering and you can feel it. So that Bayonetta 3 did not put its best foot forward in that respect.
Foot, and then it's like that weird like monster foot that smashes people.
Made of Bayonetta's hair.
Yeah.
Right. So this is another character action game in the Bayonetta series. I talked about Bayonetta 2 way like single digit episodes. And I was high on it. This is a series.
Because the
music slaps every time. The music is doing some heavy lifting for my enjoyment on Bayonetta 3.
And back when Bayonetta 2 came out, there was no DMC5.
Right. Yes. Predates it.
Right.
I love how hokey the story is.
Ugh.
I love the ridiculous cutscenes. Very inventive. For as muddy as the visuals look, like Ghostwire, they have some good animation work, especially in the cutscenes, where just Bayonetta is a fun character to embody.
Which Bayonetta?
We'll get to that in 1 second. But Bayonetta in general is a character who oozes confidence and swagger. So it's fun to inhabit her shoes because like you never have to worry. You know she's going to emerge the victor. She kicks ass. The supporting cast, Enzo, Luca, they're all back.
Who's the black guy?
He's got a cool name. He's the merchant vendor.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name.
Okay.
But he runs the shop, Hell's Gate. As far as what differentiates this Bayonetta from the others in the series, narratively, this is into the Spider-Verse of the Bayonetta games. Because you're dimension hopping, you're meeting other Bayonettas.
Spider-Verse is the Bayonetta 3 of the Spider-Man movies.
Oh.
Because Bayonetta 3 predates...
Into the Spider-Verse came out first.
Okay,
Across the Spider-Verse just came out.
Whatever.
And I saw it. It was awesome. Recommend any viewers who vaguely are interested in inventive animation, go watch Across the Spider-Verse. Worth every penny to see it in theaters, I think. Bayonetta 3. So cool, you're dimension hopping. You're always wanting to see, what's their interpretation of the Bayonetta character in this quirky universe?
She wears a scarf.
She's got neon colors and controls giant spiders in one. A fire spider. So, yeah, cool to see the other Bayonettas. Mechanically, there's two things that differentiate it. We've got, and this is actually what it's called, the Demon Slave system. There's a dedicated button that lets her summon big monsters to fight. And you've got a limit. It's a resource you can manage. If you use them too often, it'll deplete the bar and you won't be able to summon them for a while. And you've got...
It's her devil trigger.
Yeah, it's her like big finishing move. You've got Gamora is I think your big like T-Rex guy, Godzilla looking thing who beats up things. You've got Madame Butterfly. She's a big lady. You unlock more as the game goes on. I was kind of middling on this.
But as the game goes on...
I was middling on this edition. I felt maybe a bit superfluous. Like, it's never as fun controlling the big, slow-moving creature as it is Bayonetta. I mean, the name of the game is Witch Time, right? The game feels its best when you pull off the perfectly timed dodge. That's Bayonetta's calling card. Superb game feel as time slows to a crawl, and your reward for performing the great dodge is you get to like severely punish the enemy as they are helpless and you're in this time dilation mode.
Yeah, it's the high execution, skill ceiling power fantasy.
Exactly. And this game is all about the power fantasy. The power fantasy is not as potent with the big creatures. They do hit hard, but they're relatively slow, and Bayonetta is all about, fast, kinetic
like Shadow
stuff.
of the Colossus.
So I was kind of mixed on the big demons you summon until they got weird with it. As soon as you hit Ancient China, you can summon, it's just a train. You summon a big train. It's total, there's nothing like fancy going on. You summon a train and it's unique. They get weird mechanically with it.
This is Chris's board game compulsions coming in.
It's bleeding into my enjoyment for sure. But no, it's more inventive than Big Godzilla who smacks. Because when you summon the train, time pauses. You have to plan your route in advance, taking into consideration aspects of like, you need to anticipate where enemies are going to be when the train reaches that point of the track. And if you time it well, then the train is really potent. If but you can miss and like it'll go off the rails. And there's the weird stuff where if you blow the whistle too many times with the train, it'll become enraged. And I've only done it a couple times, but the enraged train, buzzsaws come out of it because that's a very Bayonetta thing to do. So yeah. If they keep introducing like weirder and weirder gimmicks for the Demon Slave system beyond just the train.
What's the train's name?
Oh, it's got a weird name.
It's like
also
Chaos Singularity.
Yeah. If you dive into the glossary, it gives you fun facts like the train's birth date and how old it is. It's funny. It's goofy stuff. Yeah, so never in a million years would have predicted you'd be controlling trains in Bayonetta, but I'm here for it. The other huge shakeup is that Bayonetta is not the sole playable character.
Right.
They introduce a Virgil
Starts
to
with a J,
Bayonetta's Dante.
Yeah.
Her name is Viola.
Yeah, Viola.
I like her so far.
Okay.
Yes, mechanically, she's got her own moveset. I like the variety she offers. The one big differentiating factor is that for Viola to trigger her witch time, it's not a dodge she needs. She needs a perfectly timed block,
Okay.
which mixes things up just a little bit. My one nitpick is all my muscle memory is in clicking the right trigger dodge button, and block is right bumper. So as soon as you switch to Viola, you need to do a total like paradigm shift, and like I'm not hammering trigger anymore. It's the button
hammering
above
bumper.
it, right above it, which you need to reacquaint yourself every time you swap characters. So I wish they just kind of either let you remap buttons or just kept it consistent
Yeah.
for her. That would have gone a long way for me. So that's my nitpick. Otherwise, Viola, pretty fun.
But you play the majority of the game as Bayonetta.
That's been the case so far. Yeah.
So why would you upgrade Viola?
Yeah, it seems like your upgrade resources are better spent on Bayonetta since you spend a greater duration of the game playing as her.
Yeah.
But you can't totally neglect Viola because then you're screwed.
Viola's moveset is a fraction of what Bayonetta's is.
Yes, especially because Bayonetta has multiple weapon sets and each one totally changes how she plays.
Yeah.
I'm just, it's overwhelming, so I just kind of stick to regular vanilla Bayonetta. But theoretically, this is the type of game that players who want to chase mastery would replay 2 or 3 times with all of their upgrades carry over in subsequent playthroughs. And you can do a playthrough dedicated to this weapon and then try a new weapon and master that. There's a lot of replay value baked into the. I don't play the games like that unless it's called Devil May Cry 5, which I played like 3 times. But this is a one and done kind of game for me. I'm along for the roller coaster ride, and then I check out.
I thought you said it was a train.
True.
So how close is the end?
I'm probably halfway.
Okay.
So famously, people hate the ending of this game. Narratively, I believe. I'm unspoiled. I don't know what happens.
I don't even know what happens.
Here's my hot prediction. I think I'm going to be totally fine with it. Because my question to all the people who were so upset about the ending of Bayonetta, I'm saying all of this with no context. I struggle to relate to the mindset of someone who's emotionally invested in the Bayonetta story. It's all popcorn to me. It's all just ridiculousness and spectacle. I'm not really moved by Bayonetta's arc because she doesn't really have too much of a character arc. She has a little bit. There's no deep character development going on.
So there's a huge standard deviation between how mad people got and how mad and the lack thereof how you will feel come this ending. Do you feel the same way about how enraged I was over Death Stranding?
No.
That was justified?
That's well, all right. I'll preface it.
The answer is yes.
I don't know the ending of Bayonetta. Maybe I'll come back and I'll be pissed next episode.
Yeah.
Maybe I will, but I suspect I won't be. I think you have more legitimate qualms over the ending of Death Stranding because you spend hours and hours of that experience purely watching the narrative cutscenes. Where Bayonetta, I don't know, if you stitched all of the cutscenes together into a movie, it would probably be no more than 45 minutes to an hour.
It'd probably be fun to watch.
Right. Where the opening cutscene of Death Stranding is an hour.
Yeah.
Already. So Death Stranding, the narrative is front and center. Where I view the cutscenes in Bayonetta as the goofy rewards you get at the end of the level.
Sure.
As you see what ridiculous thing they decide to animate as Bayonetta rips out her heart and summons a giant 10-story tall butterfly lady that then takes a bath and destroys the homunculus you're fighting. I do miss, because you're fighting new enemies in this game, the homunculus threat. I do miss the biblically accurate angels you fight.
Oh.
Those were cooler, 100%. In Bayonetta 1 and 2, the weird upside down face angels, Those guys are fun. I miss them. So yeah, story doesn't bother me. Gameplay, it feels as good as ever. Yeah, it feels as good as Bayonetta 2, I think. Visuals are bothering me. The one other big detrimental thing about Bayonetta 3 to me is I think it was a side effect of how long the game was in development. It took a long time to come out. Platinum, it was cooking in the oven for too long. I think the scale of the project swelled and swelled with feature creep. They felt the need to justify this third game, and they threw in a bunch of superfluous stuff that need not be there. The most egregious example is the Jean side missions.
Yeah.
Once in a while, you're forced to play a 2D side-scrolling, not quite Metal Gear, but kind of stealth game, playing as Jean, a side character. I don't think they're very good. I mean, obviously, not a lot of time went into them because no one's buying Bayonetta 3 for the stealth missions. Who would do that? So they're in the game. They take away from the main focus, the main appeal, which is the goofy cutscenes and the high action, flashy character action. And now it's diluted with stealth gameplay that isn't very developed or fleshed out because that's not the appeal. Once in a while, you have to do puzzle stuff, like Bayonetta will get turned into child Bayonetta, and she'll have to like dodge a couple obstacles and push something over. Bad. Like, you didn't need to increase the scale of the game, Platinum Games. Everyone's here for the witch time dodging. Just give us that 100% of the time.
They should have learned from the Mass Effect Shepard running through the woods in slow motion after the child.
So the main Bayonetta course is as tasty as ever. It's just there's these vegetable side dishes that they force feed you once in a while.
Gross.
With the stealth you don't want and the lackluster puzzle solving. Yes, that's my main complaint. And that's where I'm at Bayonetta 3. Stay tuned. Will I hate the ending? I predict not, but maybe I'll be eating those words come next episode. And Heath, thanks for sticking with me. That's everything I've been playing.
Woo! All right. 3 new games.
3 games. Banging them out.
Not new as in Tears of the Kingdom, but
we don't play new stuff like Final Fantasy 16.
I watched it.
All of it.
I watched part of it.
Okay.
That is just Game of Thrones fantasy land.
It looks appealing to me.
No, I think it's kind of just like knights in shining Japanese armor.
I've heard I forgot the gimmicky buzzword they came up with it. But the Final Fantasy 16, super intrigued to hear you can pause cutscenes at will and have like blurbs appear next to the characters. It's a who's who glossary.
It's the Amazon X-ray.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Neat feature for a video game.
It is neat. Oh yeah, and depending on it's how very like immortality-ish. Depending on what's on screen.
Right, different button prompts depending on what's on screen.
Learn different.
All right, we're going to take a well-deserved break and come back with just a couple news headlines. And we're back.
I want to cover... Didn't Nintendo cancel Metroid 4?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it failed to appear at the most recent Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, that means they're going to like shadow cancel it, right?
Probably not. I mean, this is just a theory. I think they've reached the point where they're now holding it for a launch title for whatever the Switch successor will be.
Ooh, okay.
I think that there's going to be Metroid Prime 4 on day one and probably whatever the next 3D
Mario Kart.
Oh, maybe. I was going to say that whatever the successor to Mario Odyssey
No,
is.
Mario Kart 8 is going to end up on the next console.
Just keep pumping it full of more DLC.
Go. Yeah. Hey, what's come out since the last time we recorded that we haven't talked about? Foam Stars.
Okay. So we between last episode and this episode, we got the big video game news season occurred.
Everything.
All of it happened.
Yes.
Sony went, Microsoft went, Jeff Keighley went, Nintendo went.
Right.
Even Capcom went. And it was really underwhelming.
Street Fighter 6 is the
out.
best fighting game ever made.
That's neither here nor there, part of their
But it's
news
Capcom.
announcement. It's a game release, not news.
Okay.
Not
the
new
The news of a
announcements.
new character, probably. Akuma.
Before we touch on the big summer Splatfest of Fun, I wanted to bring us down with my one opportunity to vent. We already talked at length about Redfall, but we were missing the context of the big Bloomberg Jason Schreier news dump behind the scenes. What went wrong at Redfall?
I
with
forgot he's at
Redfall?
Bloomberg now.
Yes. And after reading his reporting, my heart is shattered, Heath. It's so bad. 2 takeaways. One thing, it was interesting to hear him report that my headcanon reflected reality kind of 1-to-1. ZeniMax Studio, the publisher that owns Bethesda and by extension Arcane Studios.
Right.
By
extension, us. Because Arcane is your daddy.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the pocket of Arcane. The command came from up high. Hey, Prey, critically acclaimed game, not a great seller. We're going to need you to make this like multiplayer live servicey type game.
Yeah.
Despite it going against,
Make
Arcane's
this square peg
strengths.
fit in this circle hole.
And it did work that way. The desire to make Redfall did not come internally from the studio. They were forced into it. Weird reporting where once the Microsoft acquisition came in, Arcane developers pleaded with Microsoft to cancel the project. The developers wanted it canceled, but Microsoft...
They're like, Phil Spencer, please kill me.
Yeah, this is not our forte. Please put us out of our misery. Microsoft took a hands-off approach. They said, finish it up. Now, the tragic part is, and this really breaks my heart, over the duration of Redfall's development, of the team that developed Prey, by the time Redfall released, 70% of the Prey team has left the studio.
And
there was
gone to...
Scattered to the wind. Left to find greener pastures elsewhere. Because Arcane Austin was their arm was twisted into making a game so outside of their wheelhouse that, of course, the developers who are known and whose strength is making immersive sims and not live multiplayer open world co-op games, they don't want to make those. It's like if BioWare was forced to make Anthem or something like that.
That was good.
So the tragic part is not only
Microsoft brain drained one of your favorite companies.
ZeniMax did.
Oh. Which is why we're boycotting Starfield.
I mean, I'm not really boycotting anything. But yes, one of my favorite game studios in the business has been Ship of Theseus. It's not the same team anymore.
Oh.
So not only did we get delivered this kind of,
BioWare got Ship of Theseus.
hugely underwhelming product in the form of Redfall, the ability for me to get the games I want out of Arcane Austin has been neutered.
Yeah.
And I may never get one ever again. Yeah, even in interviews, there's now like talks of, hey, Microsoft, you're not planning on shuttering Arcane Austin, are you? And
no comment.
What's his name?
Phil Swift.
Matt Booty? He's another Microsoft
Doug
exec. He said, no plans for now. And that for now does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Oh.
So I'm miserable. My boy has been murdered.
Yeah. Look what they did to my boy.
Thank goodness Arcane Lyon still exists and should
It's
be
protected by France.
by the borders of France. But Arcane Austin may never recover from this. That would be my prediction, actually. I'm not optimistic.
No.
So, event session over. Now let's talk about fun new games.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of announcements. It'll be old news by the time people hear this. So just to cover it in a whirlwind tour, I thought, Heath, we'd go through the 3 announcements that tickled us the most, and then maybe one that we thought was underwhelming.
Right.
I have my list ready
Where's my phone?
to go.
All right, start with number 3.
Okay. I'll go get more exciting as we go along.
Yeah.
And then we'll end with the downer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pleased to see trailers for more Yakuza stuff.
Oh,
We saw
Ichiban on a beach,
Yeah,
naked.
we saw Naked Ichiban, which is the announcement. I guess it's not Yakuza now. The franchise is now Like a Dragon.
Great.
So Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is the subtitle. It's Like a Dragon 8. It's the new mainline entry.
Yeah.
Weird subtitle. And I guess the big news is seemingly it's in Hawaii. So not Kamurocho and Sotenbori, not Tokyo. So that's a big change. You know, I definitely haven't played every Yakuza game, but I think that's a first.
It's a welcome change because now we can get like some fish out of water stuff from our fun characters.
Yes. Hawaii.
They've been in their element for too long.
Right. I hope I'm not talking out of my ass saying it's Hawaii, but people don't speak Japanese in Hawaii. So what is the voice acting situation going to be? Because most Yakuza games are Japanese dubbed only.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to be in an environment where my Japanese character is speaking English with a bunch of Hawaiians?
No, there's gonna be a Japanese dub.
Okay. I'm so curious to see how they grapple with that fish out of water scenario. And if Infinite Wealth wasn't enough, we were also getting a Kiryu spinoff this year. Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name. He erased his name and put all those extra syllables into that video game's title because it's so long.
That was the title?
Yeah, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name is the
my
title
God.
of the Kiryu video game releasing this November.
Oh my God.
And I
Fate of
can't wait.
Morgana. What are you saying?
But I'm here for it. At this point, not only am I universally falling behind on my overall video game backlog, I'm just falling behind on my Yakuza backlog because they pump these out faster than I can play them.
Yeah, it's like...
It's annualized.
And it not like the bad annualized like Assassin's Creed was.
Right. Like they're consistently chock full of high quality content.
Because they don't need to voice every side character.
A lot of it is not voiced, at least in the games I played.
Right.
It's like Undertale text. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was my number 3, the 2 new Yakuza games.
So that was Chris's number 3. On to my number 3, which was Alan Wake 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we talk about that in a previous episode?
No. This is a first.
Alan Wake 2.
It looks pretty good. What is...
Alan woke.
We're finally...
It's using woke controls.
How quickly do you think they're going to address it's not a lake, it's an ocean?
Oh, stop. No, it's going to include control flavored combat with epic, with all the flashlight tech that has come since.
Yes. I mean, we now live in a world of ray tracing. Who knows what they can do with the lighting?
Ooh, you do, because you've actually seen it.
Yeah. So this is a game that lends itself well to that visual gimmick. But 2 playable characters this time. You'll play as Alan Wake and new police lady, who I'm blanking on her name. I think one interesting wrinkle is they seem to indicate it's not linear. You choose almost 13 Sentinels style. You choose the order of which character's chapters you see when.
Nice.
And I guess it can be chopped up and
Resident Evil 2.
still played coherently.
Yeah.
So that intrigues me. It looks pretty scary, right? Much more scary than original Alan Wake.
Oh yeah, original Alan Wake. Like, I need only see the chunky QTE button press icons
It really dates it.
for it to suck all the tension out.
I'd say original Alan Wake is like thriller, where this seems like capital H horror.
Yeah, they need to put as much on the HUD of this game as PT does.
Minimal. Yeah, so go for peak immersion, low HUD. I like it.
Chris, what's your number 2 favorite thing of the favorite things?
Oh, favorite thing of the favorite things. That is actually... Oh, it's the Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty DLC.
City.
Yeah. Releasing this September. Really not far away at all. We're talking like 3 months out.
Mm-hmm. And Keanu Reeves is back.
Keanu Reeves is back, along with the other actor. They have another big name actor in it.
Who, like Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, Ignis?
Enrique Iglesias?
I'm bad with actor names. I apologize. Now, here's the thing, Heath. I have still not played Cyberpunk 2077.
Not pretty enough yet.
I mean, it's pretty.
Okay.
But watching the DLC trailer, it's kind of lost on me, like, oh, how is this really different from the base game? I don't know. I haven't played the base game. So the trailer of the trailer for the DLC itself, not super tantalizing to me. The reason this is my number 2 is the crazy quotes coming from the game's director. Director and quest designer were interviewed, and they had the following to say. Launching right alongside the DLC is also an update for all existing users that reworks and retools all the core main systems of the game.
Yeah.
Have been redone or updated in a major way.
We talked about this.
The biggest ones are the perks and skill trees have been completely rebuilt. We've also added stuff like vehicle combat, which enables new car chases, which wasn't in the game at all up until now. We've greatly expanded AI, completely redone the police system.
Yeah.
We've rebuilt from the ground up multiple levels, multiple different archetypes of enemies who will chase you.
No,
they just keep talking about how they totally redid the progression curve. I'm like, wow.
and
so
it needed to be redone.
I think people liked it well enough as it is.
No, they
panned
it.
The technical faults.
Right.
Technical faults are a totally separate issue compared to what they're talking about here.
No, the police suffered from technical issues.
That's true. I agree with you
vehicle
there.
combat suffered from technical issues.
I don't remember hearing anyone saying like,
collisions.
These progression skills are poorly designed. I don't remember hearing that.
Trust me. Now it's feature complete. Now you can yeah.
It sounds like they're soft relaunching this game.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
The Cyberpunk 2077 people have been playing for the past 3 years will cease to exist come September.
It'll be like same way like Destiny 1 ceased to, or no, not Destiny 1, Overwatch 1 ceases to exist.
Yeah, which that kind of comes with the territory of live service game. This is just a single player game that's now totally different. I'm a little conflicted about that, but I'm assuming the changes will be for the better. Assuming, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of wild to me that I've waited so long and I'm going to be playing an entirely different product that has existed.
Well, God forbid if Tears of the Kingdom came out in the state that Cyberpunk 77 came out. I just called it Cyberpunk 77.
People know what you mean.
Yeah.
So I guess I have no qualms about waiting to play games years after release. Case studies like this just make me double and triple down on that method to playing games. Like it seems like if you buy a game at release, you're signing up to play.
Idiot.
You sign up to play like the definitively whatever the worst version of the game will be.
Unless you're talking about
Nintendo usually is pretty darn polished.
There you go.
But even in the case of Breath of the Wild, when I sat down to play it, it received this update that just reduced all load times into shrines by like 50% or something.
Oh, that's good.
Which, I mean, the game isn't better per se, but it's just got quality of life updates that it saved me, I don't know, a cumulative 30 minutes of playtime or whatever across all the shrines. So just, I don't know. If you have patience and you like video games,
I do.
You are rewarded for it.
Yeah, hey, lucky me.
That was my number 2.
On to my number 2. Metal Gear Solid's back.
Yeah.
Without Kojumbo.
Now, are you referring to the collection of games or the remake?
The remake.
Yes. Is it called Metal Gear Solid Delta?
Delta. Yeah.
Delta. Did you hear an explanation for why Delta?
Because it's the same game, but they are changing like almost nothing.
Okay. Faithful, but pretty now.
I think that all the voice lines are the same.
I heard that. They're not even re-recording them.
Right.
Which is, I hope the fidelity is good enough.
It has to be. It's
Yeah,
a new
probably.
enough game for that to be. The masters will be.
Pristine.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Yep.
The earliest in the timeline.
Sure.
Which is, I guess, how they justify remastering this before 1 and 2.
That's right.
Because chronologically it's first, but it was released third.
Right.
You've never gone hands-on with Metal Gear, or you did.
I played Ground Zeroes.
Okay, you and I are the same in that way.
Yes.
Except I also did Revengeance, but that's kind of a spin-off.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll make this your first proper Metal Gear experience?
You know what? If they like to get the juices flowing, release Phantom Pain for free, then that'll be my first one.
Okay.
Whichever one's freest firstest.
That's usually your MO.
Yeah.
I heard the big question mark around this remake is who is doing it, because Kojima is not doing it.
Right.
It's
Because
coming.
Konami hates Kojima.
Right, bad blood. It is coming from Konami, and Konami's been kind of missing in action for a while.
Konami has been an evil company for a long time.
Since they cut ties in 2015 with Kojima.
Guitar? What did you say? VR? Oh. Ever since they stopped making DDR games, Konami has been a bad company.
On the bad list, blacklisted.
And if they come out with a new DDR with all the songs from SingStar, then we will they'll be back in our good graces. Thumbs up.
I guess just wrapping up the thought I had. The last time Konami released a AAA project that they internally developed, it was years ago at this point. It was Metal Gear Survive,
Which was
panned.
everybody knows about it.
I don't know if they have internal team chops to make a big video game these days.
No,
Unless they've been hiring up under the radar or something.
Unlikely.
Yeah, so maybe some level of trepidation should be had around the quality of this remake.
Right.
Because we don't really know who's working on it.
Right. And Kojima has come out and said
I'm not affiliated.
Metal Gear Solid 4 was meant to be the final thing.
Oh yeah, he's been saying that for a while. Cool. Any other thoughts about Metal Gear Delta?
Not a one.
Oh, okay. Then I will end with my most exciting announcement. Man, I was eating well during the Microsoft showcase when I got this deluge of Persona news. So much. All right, so technically there's 3 Persona-related announcements.
Tacticam.
Yeah, Persona 5 Tactica, Persona 3 Reload, the big ground-up from scratch remaster of Persona 3. But actually what tickled my balls the most was, you talk about totally random names, Metaphor Fantasio.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming dated next year. That's so soon.
So it's a remake.
No. This is a brand new project announced eons ago.
Okay.
Around the time Persona 5 came out for the first time,
Yeah.
the big Persona team said, we're going to make a fantasy game. See you in half a decade or so.
Wow.
And it's been more than that now. But yeah, here is, to be reductive about it, here's Fantasy Persona. And it looks so good. I am so here for it. So it's
fantasy the same way that the new Final Fantasy game is fantasy?
It doesn't look as grimdark as Final Fantasy 16. This is more we made this original world. You're no longer a high schooler. There is no interfacing with the real world.
You have to save a princess.
Here's an original property we're making. There's probably a bunch of weird world building, but mechanically, it looks like Persona. The menus are drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
In typical UI Persona fashion. I saw one menu with this face of a guy looking up. It looked needlessly good. Outrageously good. I'm I am sold.
What's the shorthand that we're going to call this game?
Probably just
Metaphor.
Metaphor. I don't know. Do they call it Metaphor or Refantasio?
Met refant.
MRF. Murph. So I am eating well. Persona 5 tactic game spinoff this fall. Early next year, Persona 3 remaster. Later next year, brand new IP from the Persona team. Holy shit, dude.
Get excited.
I haven't even played Persona 5 Royal yet.
I hope there's a train in it.
There's a bus.
Yeah,
Morgana transforms into a bus.
Just that, and how do you respond?
It's a tier or two below a train, but it's still public transportation, so I'll take it. That was my number one.
All right. My number one video game news is the Gollum game. We haven't talked about the Gollum game yet, have we?
Would you like to use this opportunity? Well, we need to talk about underwhelming / game you want to dunk on. But Gollum wasn't really in the summer news lineup. It just came out recently.
Okay, fine. You want to talk about Super Mario Wonders?
Is that your thumbs up or thumbs? Is that
my thumbs up.
Okay. Let's do that.
Because doesn't it just look a million times better?
It looks a lot better than the new Super Mario aesthetic.
Which we've had for like a decade.
Yes, for far too long. Fun fact, I have never played a 2D Mario game, except in my grandpa's basement, the original on the NES. I got to world stage 1, 2.
Well, yeah.
That is the extent of my side-scrolling 2D Mario.
Because all your other Mario outings have been
The 3D.
Plus Rabbids, Galaxy, Odyssey, Dr. Mario.
Sure. Yeah.
No, Wonders looks really good.
It is the most I've been interested in a 2D Mario.
Right? Yeah.
For sure. It seems like they're getting weird with it. Capital W weird with it. You see the one, you pick up a power-up or something, and the aesthetic suddenly changes to like almost like a limbo aesthetic. Everything's black and white.
Yes.
Very saturated. Yeah, if there's lots of stuff like that in the game, color me intrigued. Have you played much 2D Mario?
No.
No.
I was going to say no. I'm all about that Captain Toad treasure tracker, but that's not even 2D. That's 3D. Or that's 4X.
Every time you bring up 4X, it's in the wrong context.
It's in 4K.
4X is like a grand strategy game. Explore, exploit, expand, exterminate.
You are rotating the Captain Toad level like if Fez were you rotate that.
Agreed. It's like a diorama.
It's like a Banner Saga.
You can rotate.
No, it's like a
Isometric.
Baldur's. Yeah, it's like a Banner Saga level.
Yes, the term 4X does not apply to that at all.
All right.
Isometric. Cool. Yes, that was how Nintendo closed out their Direct.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of an underwhelming. Not a lot for me in that Direct.
Because you're a Splatoon freak.
I'm a foam stars freak.
Chris is a foam star.
No, it was too much Pikmin for me. I don't have nostalgia for Super Mario RPG.
Me neither.
Which serves as a segue to, we can dunk on one announcement.
Yeah.
I have selected one. It's not the worst trailer, not by a long shot that I saw. But I thought it was interesting for the greatest disparity between people really liking it and me going, I didn't really like that, actually. So I want to it's what Microsoft opened their press conference with. I want to talk about the Fable trailer.
Ooh.
Yes. Which was like a parody of Jack and the Beanstalk. There's a famous actor from IT crowd.
Oh, the black guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I don't know actor name.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes.
No, that is a big lie. That's an old man.
I was ready to say yes to any words that came out of your mouth.
Richard Ayoade.
Okay. I think he's good. I think the performance was fun.
He's got a funny voice.
Funny trailer in general. I thought it was comedic.
It'll be your first Fable game since
I've played none of them.
exactly.
I've watched a
'Cause
friend.
they've been mid.
Oh, okay. I've watched a friend play a decent chunk of Fable 2.
You would describe them as mid. I mean, Fable 2. Okay, so you know what was another bit that I wanted to try to get you to do? Talk about Ever Brown content.
Yeah.
GQ came out with the top 100 games of all time recently.
Yes. Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Oh, you know
I've read the list.
everything there is to know about that. Yeah.
My one-word summary of the 2-word is pretty good. I thought I largely agreed with it.
Yeah, because it catered to you hard.
It did.
I mean, Dishonored was Dishonored 2 was much too low.
I mean, I'll take it landing on the list because it's often overlooked.
Okay. They put Fable 2 above Dishonored 2, I think.
Did they? Oh, that's a bit of a swing and a miss.
Yeah. But no, Dishonored 2, it blew everyone's minds because it was like a do anything game. Mm-hmm. You could kill bandits. You could.
You said Dishonored 2.
Oh,
Fable
sorry.
2.
Dishonored 2 is a do anything game.
Because you started off the sentence with Dishonored 2 blew everyone's minds, and I'm like, yeah, I'm with you so far.
I'm just saying everything you want to hear. What? Oh yeah, and that GQ list, dude.
What did you want? What was the
Mass Effect
Brown?
2 was in the top 10,
Where it belongs, dude.
And then above Mass Effect 2 is Witcher 3.
I can't help having correct taste.
You were so generous.
Catered to.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, this new Fable game is gonna be nothing to get excited. It's not gonna be better than Outer Worlds.
I mean, remains to be seen. Here's my big criticism of the trailer.
What's your big criticism of the trailer?
I think it's actually like an entertaining watch. I was surprised how like excited this made people for the game because I felt we learned next to nothing about it. This Fable reboot was announced, and I looked it up 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember the splash title.
Summer of 2020, where we learned, hey, Fable's coming back, and surprise, Playground Studios, the Forza Horizon team.
Oh, I got too excited when you started to say Play Dead.
Playground.
Darn.
Forza Horizon team is making it. Which there's some they're a British studio, so there's some heritage.
That's why the characters look so
with
ugly.
Lionhead. Damn. And okay, cool. That's what they gave us some details when they announced it 3 years ago.
Great.
3 years later, what are they ready to show us? Probably a big update. And I felt we learned next to nothing we didn't already know. Playground Studios is still making it.
Yeah.
We still have not seen gameplay.
Nope.
We've some of the footage is apparently in engine, so I guess that's something. But no, I don't know what the minute-to-minute gameplay loop looks like whatsoever.
Oh, it's gonna be job quests. Like you pick an occupation, basically. You're either gonna be like a bounty hunter, like a.
You got that from this trailer,
dude?
I think that's speculation and conjecture.
But I got that from playing Fable 2 and 3.
Well, I don't think that's a safe assumption anymore. It's been so long. It's a new studio helming it.
It's gonna be fantasy jobs and a morality circle.
Yeah, my big disappointment was after 3 years of Fable radio silence, the big reintroduction of this game brought with it no details of consequence. There's nothing to get really excited about. I mean, this trailer was a tone piece.
Yeah, and Death Stranding's trailer was a tone piece. That's not true. I saw bikes in Death Stranding's trailer.
We saw crazy environments.
Swinging suitcases at the mules.
I still do not know what to expect from this Fable game.
Remember before we played Death Stranding, how awesome we thought Death Stranding was?
Hey, we still like Death Stranding.
We still do.
You rag on it, but you ranked it like this is the second best game I played all year.
It's my favorite game to love and hate.
So yes, the sparse Fable details are why I said it was my most underwhelming trailer. Compared to general reaction, people were too high on it. Over to you, Heath. What do you want to dogpile on?
My most underwhelming thing was the submarine rescue.
The what now?
That's the submarine that went missing.
Is this like a news story?
No, it's not. It's not a video game story, but it's news.
Oh,
The Titanic submarine.
You need to fill me in from
Chris.
scratch.
Chris, have you
What?
ever heard about the Titan?
The Titan?
Yeah.
I just heard about potential.
I'm going to loop it back into video games
Okay, I trust you.
because so Chris, the Titanic was a ship that sank, right?
All right, I'm with you so far.
Yeah. So, and if you want to go visit it, you have to travel in a submarine.
That's a service you can like do as a tourist.
That's right. And so, rich people like to go visit the Titanic.
Yes.
Listen, while you were sleeping last night, it was 2 a.m. and I was doing research on this very topic. What would you like to know?
Did it pique your interest as like a tragedy?
Yeah. Because, so the CEO, Stockton Rush, of OceanGate, he actually was on this vessel. And
how do you pilot this vessel?
he was like, "Oh, well,
With a Logitech controller.
no, it's with
That's why I'm
a
showing it
game
to you.
controller. It's with a game
Yeah.
controller.
Not even a first-party controller. It's a third-party knockoff.
No, you can literally go to Walmart and buy it for like $45.
Yeah, he's literally holding it.
Yes, like you program
Okay.
it with a game controller.
Yeah.
But he was on this thing, and
With three other people.
with three other
Three
people.
other billionaires.
Now, just to clarify,
Now,
you're
listen-
holding this controller inside the submarine.
That's how he
Yes,
piloted it.
There- and there's a couple extra on board in case that one doesn't work. That's what he said. in
Is
the
it Bluetooth?
Is it?
Who cares whether or not?
I don't know.
But like the entire naval community is like, don't go down there in this slapped together.
Well, listen. Okay, so two of the passengers were father and son. Okay, this is so freaking sad. So the father like really wanted to go, and basically like on Father's Day like said to his son like, "Hey, we're gonna go down and see the Titanic."
What
and,
fun.
And his son felt like he couldn't say no on Father's Day, and was scared, but said yes to appease his father. And they both like and there was another father-son duo who was going to go on the Titan, but they like backed out like a month in advance because they didn't think it was safe enough. And then literally after hearing this, they're like, that could have been us. Like we could have been down there, like lost forever. It's so freaking sad. It's so sad. What happened, Chris, is it imploded, right?
Oh.
Basically, it like there must have been like a leak or something, and it imploded. It basically just like crushed everything, kind of like a tin can.
The pressure.
Yeah,
Water
the
pressure.
the water pressure. They were like 3/4 of the way down, and and it lost contact, and that's when they think they heard an implosion sound, and it got crushed.
But we didn't immediately know that it imploded.
No.
Everyone thought they were missing. So it's like we gotta do a rescue mission
So like
before they run out of air.
Yeah, well, because they didn't know. They're like, it's probably gonna implode, but maybe it's like on the bottom of the ocean, or maybe they like roast the top, and like we just haven't found them yet because it's in such a remote part of the world.
Yeah. How recently did this happen?
Like,
Thursday.
yeah,
Oh.
we found out that it imploded on Thursday.
How long was this like a functioning service?
I mean, this submersible has gone down to see the Titanic before.
James Cameron, the director of the movie Titanic, has been going down there since like 2001.
I was like,
But probably not on this same sub.
No, his is like a actual
yeah.
proper submarine.
yeah, which
Okay.
I thought was crazy.
Not this.
Was
not
this
this tin can?
Is this like, oh, we launched this service this year, the tin can tours?
Not this year. It was more recent-ish in the 2010s, I
Okay.
want to say. But basically, the research and the safety mechanisms just weren't there on the
Yeah.
submersible, and could have easily been prevented, and it wasn't. That's all I have to say about that.
And then to link it back to video games, they shared a photograph of like the ship, the thing's remains, and you can see the Logitech controller in the sand, and everyone's like, "Wow, the cheapest component survived."
Gotcha.
But back to the show. My most underwhelming video game thing is Street Fighter.
Yeah.
How people are complaining about the modern controls. If you use modern controls, you're a baby.
Does this remove like the half circle stick?
That's right.
And it's all just abstracted out to single button presses or something.
Not exclusively, but the diehards would say yes. That it infantilizes the high skill execution.
Yes. The moveset you're capable of performing with modern controls is probably more limited though, right?
It's you can yes, and you deal less damage if you use modern controls.
Balancing. That's an interesting dynamic.
Or at least that was the case during the beta, and they've since removed it.
Okay. I mean, I think this concept of modern controls sounds great to me. I mean, I'm not a fighting game guy though.
No.
But Capcom...
You that's why you can never beat me in Nidhogg.
There's no proof. Cool. So your underwhelming news story is Street Fighter is now more accessible.
No, Chris, that's the only other thing that I can recall that happened. Let me try to recall harder.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have a Mortal Kombat machine at work.
An arcade cabinet.
Mortal Kombat 2. And I'm not planning on putting Mortal Kombat 1 next to it anytime soon because I can't win $1 million if I could take first place in the Mortal Kombat tournament. Unlike Street Fighter.
They're rebooting the franchise with this one.
That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy. My insight, very limited.
Name a Mortal Kombat character that isn't Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
All right, those are the two. Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Cash.
Ah, damn. I messed it up.
No, that's the musician. John, you were right.
Okay. That's all I've got. Oh, there's someone with a bunch of arms, right?
Goro? No, that's a Zelda enemy type, right?
You don't need the Mortal Kombat takes from us. But yeah, I mean, it looks like more Mortal Kombat. I'm sure fans will be pleased, but does nothing for me.
What does things for you?
This
Aside from
podcast, Mobius Tubes, I'm a big fan. Let's close it out.
Okay.
If you too are a big fan and want to get involved on the show, you can send us an email at mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com.
That's mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com. You can tell me how excited you are for Frostpunk 2. That was another Tone trailer that
yes.
that I will have to live with because there's not really much to see in a gameplay trailer anyway.
Has it been dated?
2024.
So while I am playing ReFantasio, you'll be knee-deep in oil in Frostpunk 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Look forward to that.
You'll have your beautiful menus, and I'll have just black dripping in oil NPCs.
But good menu sound design from what I've played of Frostpunk 1.
Right.
Yeah, love those deep, bassy clicks of feedback you get. Cool. All right. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah. Closing it out. This has been episode 88. Oh, on June 25th. We didn't say that.
Oh, happy. Yeah.
Bye.